Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Baruch shalom, Baruch shalom. I want to take this time in this video to point out to my audience something that is stated in the Mishnah. Now, what you see on screen here are the books of information that is used in Judaism to practice Judaism. And in these books, or in one of these books, and I have two so far that I've gone through and found, they talk about the complexion of the Israelites. Now, isn't that ironic? They themselves talk about the complexion of the Israelites. So anyone who claims to be Jewish and practicing Judaism, they know, unless they do not read, that this information is in here. Now, I want to go to Mishnah Negaim chapter 2, and I'll read it in the English version. It says, the bright spot in a German appears as dull white, and the dull white spot in an Ethiopian appears as bright white. Rabbi Ishmael says, the children of Israel, may I be atonement for them, which he cannot, are like boxwood. Now, he's not talking about them being an actual tree, so he has to be talking about the color of the tree. And why do I say that? Because he says neither black, boxwood isn't black, nor white, boxwood isn't white, but of an intermediate shade, or a shade that's in between. So boxwood would be in between black and white. So it is not black, and it's definitely not white. I think you would agree with that. So let me show you a demonstration of color ranges. So here I have a African woman of the darkest shade that they would consider shakor. Shakor is the word, the Hebrew word for black in the Bible. Now, I've gone to the far extreme to showing you an image of a white woman. Now, Laban is not this color. Laban is like the color of coriander seed. Coriander seed would be more like her complexion, or a little bit lighter, but definitely has melanin. But I went to the far extreme. So Rabbi Ishmael says that they're neither black nor white, but boxwood. So what colors do we have in between white and black? We would have the face of the African American and the Igbo and the Limba and the BENI YISRAEL. This is what you would have. This is also the face of the Spanish and the Portuguese Jews. This is what you have. So when you read the Mishnah and you're reading this, and he's telling you the color range, boxwood is a brown color. So that automatically eliminates this woman here, because Caucasians don't possess melanin in their biological makeup. They don't. You either have a small amount or an excessive amount, but you can't be what Rabbi Ishmael has described and have no amount. Now, what does an ebony tree look like? Let's take a look. Ebony tree. is your ebony tree. And ebony really should tell you what it is. Dark shade. It's dark shade. That's what an ebony tree looks like. This is an ebony tree. This is an ebony tree stripped bare somewhat and still represents a dark shade. Dark shade, dark shade. Ebony is dark. Let's see. This is the ebony tree. The bark of that tree is dark. The bark of any tree is pretty dark anyway. Let's see. There's another ebony tree. Dark. So we're talking about dark group of people. And look, African American skin tones. Ebony. In fact, the Ebony magazine of the 70s and 80s are talking about African American people who have dark color. And so this is what the Israelites look like. Not this. Shalom.